8:16. I am almost on time. Pretty impressive. Okay, so I have been busy, well, with a lot of things, but is that lighting? That's, oh, whoa, that's not good. Hang tight. There we go. That's better. Okay, so I am featuring multiple retiring things tonight. Some of my favorites, so I'm very sad that they are retiring, but I wanted to show them and make some projects and have a good time with this. This is the card we're going to be making, and I did give you a little sneak peek yesterday on my page, so I'm not sure who figured out which set we were going to be using, but we are using Coffee Cafe, both the stamp set and the framelits. We are also using the marbled background stamp, and we are using Lemon Lime Twist. So Lemon Lime Twist is retiring, this background stamp is retiring, the Coffee Cafe is retiring, so sad. This wood DSP is retiring. These little corrugated cardboard embellishments are retiring. This gingham DSP is retiring. So the only thing that is not retiring on this card, the white cardstock and early espresso. Everything else is retiring. So if you like this card, if you think you'd like to make a card like it, you only have until the 3rd of June to get these items. If memory serves me correctly, the lemon lime cardstock is already gone, the ink pad is gone, the re-inker is gone. I do believe everything else here you can still get, but you cannot get any of the lemon lime twist things. I think you can still get the gingham though. Okay, so let's get started. So to do the background stamp, I used my Stamparatus. You do not have to have a Stamparatus to do a background stamp, but what you do have to have then, if you don't have a Stamparatus, is this very giant block. Okay, so Stampin' Up! Sells this block, and this block is made to perfectly fit the background stamps. So if you don't have a Stamparatus and you're not interested in investing in it, but you like the idea of a background stamp, then you would need this block. So what I am going to say about the background stamps is if you don't have a Big Shot yet, and you're kind of waiting to see about what the new die cutting and embossing machine is like, then background stamps can take the place of embossing, or they can also take the place of designer series paper. So if you don't want to invest in a lot of different pattern papers, background stamps are an excellent way to add some texture to your card without necessarily adding an extra layer. So just in case you're wondering, this big block is $23, okay? And these background stamps are generally around $20. They might be $22 in the new catalog, I can't remember. So this one is retiring, but there are others that are not retiring, and I believe there are some new ones. Another one that is retiring, and I will be making something else with it, is this one, the burlap. Okay, so like I said, I used my Stamparatus, not the big block, but I was just showing you what the big block can do. So what I did is I essentially just put my stamp first on my piece of grid paper, my Stamparatus grid paper, and then I picked it up. So I knew that I wanted to stamp off. So I wanted a second generation, what do they call it, lemon lime twist, because I wanted there to be some contrast between the cardstock. So I have already actually made both of these pieces, so we don't necessarily have to do it again. I've already done a second one. But if I were to do it, what I did then is I inked this up in my lemon lime twist. So I totally inked up my stamp, and then I stamped it once on the grid paper. That's why I have the grid paper. Then that lets me know where I need to place my other piece of paper. I stuck that on, and then I stamped a second time. Okay, so that is how we got this background in a muted lemon lime twist. So I just wanted to quickly go over how we got that. So that is the starting point for this card, this background. Okay, so if we take a look, then you can see I've done some stamping on the background, and then we have all these pieces that we've die cut with the Big Shot. So what we have done is used this sentiment from the stamp set. Happiness is a cup of coffee shared with a friend. So this is going to be full strength. Because it is a photopolymer stamp, I'm going to put my mat underneath it. Because this is my brand new mat, so you can see I have my old mat that I've stamped all over. It's got ink all over it. And then we have my brand new mat, which I'm actually trying to keep clean. So that's why I have this white piece of paper on here, so that I'm not getting ink on my brand new mat. So you can decide how you like this. You can see on this one, this white was at the top. If we flip it, then this white is kind of going to be down here at the bottom. I don't think it really matters. Maybe we'll do this one the other way just for fun. So we're going to ink up our sentiment. This is going to be full strength lemon lime twist. And I have it going off the edge on this side. And then we have it going off the edge up here as well. No real reason why, more than anything, just because it's more of a background than it is the focal point of the card. Okay, so that is that piece done. We're going to do a little bit of more stamping, but we're not going to stamp that on until we have put our die cuts on. So there are a couple of things we need to do, and we're going to stamp a bunch of things up so that we can run everything through the die cut at once. So we want to do the lid of the coffee cup in Early Espresso. So we're just going to stamp that up on this scrap piece of paper. Perfect. And while we're at it, so like I said, I did both the coffee cups using the wood textured DSP. More than anything, because it's fairly close to crumb cake, so I could have just used crumb cake, but I felt using the DSP gives us a little bit of texture, and also it's retiring. So once next month rolls around, I can't really use this in my classes because I can't sell it. So I thought, why not use it up in my card? So I'm going to stamp the outline of the one coffee cup. All right. The other thing that we are going to end up die cutting is, and I guess I actually put that away. No, I know what I did. So I want just the word friend from here. So we are going to clean, I'm just going to stamp this off, and then we're going to clean it with our chamois. So my chamois is, I got it wet yesterday, maybe the day before actually, Sunday. Yeah, it's today Tuesday, yeah. So Sunday I had the chance to do some stamping. So I got this wet on Sunday, and if I know I'm going to be crafting multiple days in a row, I will actually just keep closing the lid so that it will stay damp. Now, after tonight, I can't guarantee that I'm going to get back down here tomorrow, so I might leave it open so it starts to dry. But if you know you're going to keep stamping, you could close it up. Okay, so now I just want the word friend. So what I'm going to do is just ink up the bottom of this stamp, and because it's photopolymer, I can tell that I'm only getting the word friend, and that's going to go in the circle, so I'm going to put it here. Perfect. And you can see I got the edge of my block, so I'm just going to wipe that off, although I'm not going to be using this again, so it doesn't really matter. All right, so now we're going to do some die cutting, and we can die cut a bunch of these things at once. And because we have stamped them already, we are going to use the magnetic platform. So if you don't own this platform, but you own a Big Shot, I would suggest getting it before Stampin' Up! Is no longer selling the Big Shot. It is worth having, for things like this. So we want to put that on there. Because I'm doing a few things on this magnetic one, I'm going to put it down here. And then we're going to take this piece, and we are going to need to do a few other things. So we're going to run it through a second time. I just need the lid. All right, we're going to take the lid, put that on there. And then if we can do the circle at the same time, we will. Sometimes if we put things too close together, we can't. So you can see in my finished card, the word friend just barely fits in the circle. And you kind of have to decide if you're going to lose a bit of your D or a bit of your F or a bit of both. Okay, those all look good. You still have to be very careful when you put your second plate on, even though it is magnetic, you can still move them a little bit, okay? So just be mindful of that. Okay, we're gonna roll those through. So there's our one coffee cup, there's our lid, and there's our words. Perfect. So while we still have the Big Shot in the frame, I'm going to, and we can still use the magnetic plate. We don't need it now at this point for what we're doing, but we can still use it. We're going to do the small coffee cup, and we need our little pieces of our sleeves. So I have these leftover scraps of the gingham from a card I had made earlier this season. So if you don't already know this trick, you can cut more than one at a time. So I'm just going to cut it to the size we need it. And then I'm going to layer it so that I can cut out both of these at the same time. And similar to our the rectangle framelits, any framelit, it's just a good idea to put it through at an angle if you can. It's less work for your machine. All right, so we have got that, and we have two of those. So we have all of our pieces now. And the nice thing about using the magnetic plate is that if you're not set to put all your dies away, you just put them on your plate and then you won't lose them. So at least you won't lose them, even if you haven't put them away. All right, so we have our bits and bobs. We have that. Just gonna put my other dies there so I don't lose them. This, and then we're still gonna need our hearts. Okay, so we have all the pieces of our card. So let's put that there. And now we're just gonna layer it together. Oh, we need the one cardboard piece. So these corrugated cardboard elements, you're gonna see that they, like, I have bought them. There we go. I have bought them at least 3 times. I use them a lot when I make my little coffee cup gift holders. So I'm not gonna lie, I am very likely gonna be holding on to this Coffee Cafe stamp set. There's also a holiday version. I can't see myself giving this one up. I use it for craft fairs, so it is likely going to stay in my collection. Okay, so what we want is the oval, but these little elements, and they are amazing. There's also the little tag and little hearts. So I don't know. I might need more of these before they retire. But basically they came as one set. I think you got 8 of each, 24 in a pack. But I just have bought so many packs that I've separated them out into the different shapes. Alright. So I didn't actually use any dimensionals in this card at all. This entire card is put together with snail. So now we're just going to layer it up. So our sentiment is going to go, every time I say that word sentiment, it just sounds weird to me. Does it sound weird to you? And you'll see here, and I liked the effect, I changed up the sleeves, one with the big gingham and one with the little. So I'm going to do the same again. So you can either snail top and bottom, or you can snail side to side on this. I don't think you really need to snail all 4 edges, and you'll know where to put it on the coffee cup because it will line up with the sides, more or less. I'm just going to put it down a little bit lower because we are actually going to put the lid on this one. So we're going to do the lid after because it's going to also stick to our card front. This is going to go in the center. You could, if you wanted, for a little bit of interest, you could put a rhinestone on top of your eye. All right, and then this one, we're going to do the big gingham. Comme ça. Okay, and then generally what I like to do is I like to lay out my pieces before I actually adhere them. Sometimes I will actually take a picture so that I can refer back to it once I start to take things off. Not with a card like this, but with something that I'm really picky about the placement, I might do that. So what I'm going to do here now is I've kind of got those on there like I like them, and I'm going to stamp those hearts, and that's going to help me know where to put the card, the piece back. And so there's 2 hearts in this set. There's one that has the stripes through it, and there's one just an open. So I used a combination of both when I made the card the first time. And this card was inspired by a design I saw. Her name is Alessandra. I think I'm saying that right. And I couldn't find her on Instagram actually, but her website is Let's Embellish Paper, I believe. And I know she was featured in Kylie's blog post about the Everything is Rosy medley. So she's still out there and you can still find her, even though I couldn't find her on Instagram. Okay, so now I know where I want this cup to go. So I'm going to put snail at the bottom, and I'm going to put snail at the top, and I'm going to stick one down the middle. You could do it up both sides. Put that on there. And then what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to put snail all the way across the lid, and then I'm going to line the lid up on here, and I'm going to turn it over because I'm going to know then if it's even, so we're good. And then I am going to put snail, oh, I didn't actually have it attached, I guess, on here, and then this entire thing is going to go down on our card front. I see people have come and gone and come and gone. I don't know if it's because it's bedtime or maybe I'm just boring. Either way, my feelings aren't hurt. At least not much. No, just kidding. Okay, and that guy is going to go on there. And just like that, we are done. So we're going to use our lemon lime twist cardstock. So this is a single piece of paper that I cut in 2 to enable us to make 2 cards. So cut at 5.5 and scored at 4 1/4. And then we're just going to take our snail again on here. and we're good to go. I like to ensure I have got right into the corner so that the card doesn't lift. The piece of paper doesn't lift at all. And then I often like to have this open when I line this up so I can see. All right, so I can't get any feedback because nobody is on here with me to give me any, so hopefully we're good. So here is the one I had made last night. Here is the one we made tonight. I did a little bit different with the hearts, otherwise it's pretty much the same. So like I said, all of these products except for the Whisper White cardstock and the Early Espresso ink are retiring. Everything here is retiring. So if there's anything in this card that you love and you're like, oh my gosh, why don't I own that? I would like to do more with that stamp set, those dies, those corrugated elements, that marble background, then you need to get on it, folks. You need to order that before the end of, before June 3rd. And really the sooner the better, because there is no guarantee. Once things sell out, they will not be replenished. So then the item goes into discontinued. All right, so hopefully some people will watch this in retrospect. I welcome your comments, your feedback, your thoughts. And if you're as sad as I am about the retirement of Coffee Cafe. And yeah, that's it. That is our Tuesday card. So hopefully you're having a good week. Tomorrow is hump day. That's exciting. For me, it is my Friday. I only work 3 days. And then I spend the next 2 running around like a crazy mom. A big shout out to any and all single moms who see this because I am presently parenting on my own for 4 weeks. And it is exhausting. That's what I can say. So I don't know how single moms do it. My hat is off to you. You are amazing. All right. Have a good night, folks. Good night.